Alright, so this is just a brief demo of the state of keyboard and mouse for Monster Hunter World as of launch. It is around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the 9th of August, and just showing you basically what our issues with keyboard and mouse is, since no major publication is wanting to report the fact that this is not really how any keyboard and mouse game should work. So currently what our issue is that this is a direct port from a controller-based game. And the way controllers in mouses work are two separate, completely different things. We do not have the option for raw mouse input as most other keyboard and mouse games do, like for instance CS:GO, Siege, Final Fantasy 14, if you want to go on that kind of tangent. But regardless, this is not how anything works in regards to how a normal keyboard and mouse game works. Our issue is basically we don't operate the same way an analog stick does with our mouse. An analog stick bases its movement off of the acceleration from the center. So the more you push it, the more it accelerates to a certain point. When you get to the outside, it doesn't go any faster than this because there's no way to go faster than this. And I can adjust how fast that outside is and how fast it is leading up to that point by adjusting the sensitivity like this. And so now I can move faster by pushing it all the way to the outside. But when I come over to mouse, we don't work the same way that a console's analog stick does. We operate in the way that our raw mouse input. When we go from here to here, we expect a full fluid raw movement. We don't expect it to be locked at a certain speed going around. We expect to be able to go like this and be looking at it behind. And I'll do it once again. That does not move us behind. That is not counting the dots per inch moving from here to here and translating it to raw input data. What it is doing, however, is that if you were to move the mouse all the way over, like for instance, let's say I'm looking straight forward, and I were to go from the middle on the way out, that's how much it should move if I do it in a slow manner and keep it under the same acceleration rate. But if I move that acceleration rate too fast, it's not going to capture that data. For instance, let's say if I go slower, you can actually feel there's an acceleration cap and an acceleration dead zone. So even if I stay under that mouse thing, you see how when I move my mouse, it doesn't. That's not when it stops. This is a really big issue for a lot of us keyboard and mouse players, and so a lot of you will say, well, treat it like a Dark Souls port, and use a controller like most other Dark Souls players do. First off, that's not what we were expecting when we heard that it would take 6 months for a PC port. We thought that it would be taken into consideration that raw input data would be a thing that was accepted into this game when they started developing this for PC. And so when you take 6 months to deliver something to PC, people sort of expect a standard that keyboard and mouse was going to be programmed in mind. Not that we would still be playing controller on a PC. And obviously for certain games that's kind of a standard, but it's not what we were expecting when it took 6 months to develop it over to PC. And so raw input data was expected by a lot of us. So I would like to try and keep things on at least a positive note here, in that until they develop a fix for raw input data through the mouse and calculating dots per inch to move a certain distance, there is a fix that was posted by in a Reddit thread in a comment by Muyoman, who found that if you slide the sensitivity slider to maximum in this game, it fixes a lot of the input issues you have. Right? So I'm going to move it over to here. Take this, move it over to here. And then come back out here. And so, obviously, with the current DPI setting, a little bit crazy, right? But if I turn my DPI down to about 400, it's a lot more manageable, you know? And that same level of, input delay or stop delay or acceleration cap, it doesn't exist there anymore. But now what you have is the reverse, what is called dead zone delay. Or, not dead zone delay, but, basically what it is on a controller is noise prevention. And so what a lot of controllers, when they get worn out, they tend to be able to move around like this a lot more. And so to prevent, your character continually moving like this and in the middle of a fight, to prevent noise, there's a dead zone. Mouses don't have dead zones. If you do, you need a new mouse. So if I were to be able to move my mouse all the way over here, see, except for those little smidgens where I'm going over the speed cap for dead, it does not move a single inch. Doesn't move a single frame to the right or the left if I keep it under that speed cap. And this is a problem because a lot of our ability is if, like, let's say I want to move over to that this cogwheel over here with my mouse. Well, most controller players, you just go like this, right? And then you just center it out and go like that. That's a little bit quick, but you get the point. But a lot of mouse players, you would use fine tune to be able to get yourself right on it, and you can't do that. And so you're constantly trying, like, let's say I'm over here and I try to, and then micro adjust. I can't get directly on that cogwheel. And so it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. Now, the best situation that I've found is that I just treat it like double sensitivity and like this. And at 800 DPI, it's double what my normal sensitivity would be. And I still get these dead spots right here. But as long as I keep it at a somewhat of a rate, it's fine, kind of. But realistically, to anybody who's expecting to play KeyBM and having it be a flawless experience because it took 6 months to develop this for PC, sorry to break it to you, but not how it's going to work. I would suggest you treat this like a Dark Souls port and hope that they come out with a fix for this here. So, with that, hopefully this has been some sort of fix. And also, I'm gonna go in depth more of the actual fix that Muyoman presented. So, in addition to moving your DPI down to 400 and moving your settings over here to max, you also now have to come over to your INI file, which you can find under the Steam library. I'm assuming most people know how to find an INI file if you're a PC player. And then move your mouse base speed to 0.2. I have it at 0.25 because I'm messing around with it, but 0.2 seems to be where it should be. This is a fix, once again, but found by Muyoman. Thank you for finding that, and thank you for suggesting it. It helped me a lot with trying to find a fix for this in the meantime while we don't have actual raw mouse input. So with that, hopefully this helps somebody in either making a decision as to whether or not what they should expect with this game, or if this can be of help to people who are looking to play mouse and keyboard without getting a controller. So with that, thank you for watching.